Alright, what's going on, guys? There was no sound because I wasn't talking yet. Just giving people a few minutes to get in here. What's up, everybody? What's up, Angle, Yeki, Mr. Dubs, Slim Fatty, Waleed, Bleep, Remy, Spaniardo. What's going on, guys? Give people a few more minutes before we really get into it. Let me get the lo-fi going before I forget. You guys want the lo-fi louder, or is that good? Actually, that's probably a little high, isn't it? Let me know if the lo-fi is too loud or not. What's up, Juba or Yuba, Pablo, Alpo, Matthew, Jimmy? Golf was good, man. I'm hyped I got those new wedges. Too loud. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Alright, I think I fixed it. It just, you guys can't see in the chat yet. So just give it a sec. We will talk about AVAX for sure. Yeah, my bad. I didn't know it was that loud when I when I first started it. And then it's like I can't see your guys' messages in real time, so I'm trying to adjust it, but then I don't know if messages are old. Whatever. I don't know why. I don't know why it changes my settings so frequently. Alright. We gave people a little bit of time to get in here. Wow, we have 135 people. Alright. I did get my Mutant 8. I have not bought the Apex dip yet. I have quite a bit, but if it drops a little more, I might get some. What's up, Annie? But yeah, I did get my Mutant. Pretty happy about that. I think I got a steal on it. But we can talk about some NFTs later. I think everyone who is here right now wants to hear about Bitcoin. In your fantasy league, these jabronis need to pay up. Are you talking about the one with Dale? Yeah, isn't our draft tomorrow? Trying to find the Discord. Oh, it's the penguin. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like, I don't know what, like 4 guys still need to pay or something like that. Alright. Let's get into the TA and then we can just hang out and talk later. This probably won't be a super long stream just because there isn't a ton to do right now. So, I mean, if we zoom out a little bit, it looked like we were getting our breakout above these 2 SR levels, and it just ended up pushing a little bit higher before getting rejected. Pretty tough rejection, wicked down hard, but as you can see, like, we were just making higher lows pretty consistently, and now we just took out the stop losses from this entire section. So anyone that was long from like just about the beginning of August in this entire section, if they hadn't closed their trade yet, they just got stopped out. Most likely. I think this dip got super, super exaggerated because of leverage. Like, people were starting to get way too overconfident. We were getting to the point where it was like, oh, I can just crank up my leverage. We're back to up only mode, blah, 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 on like every coin. And so a big flush is kind of what we needed, in my opinion. Like, I don't think this is bad. When I zoom out, big picture, like, will it come down a little more and then go back up? Maybe. But I'm not really banking on that. I think holding above this consolidation would be big, and if we can get back above like 49, then the low is probably in there. But for now, like, after these big moves, we typically have either just some consolidation for a couple days, or like a big bounce and then consolidation, you know. But like, we just saw so much volatility here that I wouldn't be surprised if things cool off for a little bit. Like, I'm not comparing it to a specific area here, but just as an example, right? Like, we saw this huge candle with some decent buyback, and then we had a candle like that, so maybe just something like this, and then one like that. I mean, obviously that's drawn horribly, and it could have gone the other way after that. But I guess my main point is just, I kind of think this is going to chill out for a day, 2 days, 3 days, something like that. So this stream today is going to be less about trade setups that I'm looking for, because we kind of just need to see what the market gives us. We're going to talk about coins that we've been talking about in the last few streams, but I don't like, I need some more price action. I want some more levels to work with. I want Bitcoin to kind of like find a base for a little bit. Like, right now it still kind of looks like it's bleeding. Maybe we're putting in some RSI divergences, but I'd like to see us like find a base and like consolidate for a bit. And then if we do something like this, then I'd be looking to get long around here. But I can't really predict these trade setups right now across the board, because we just had an enormous move, and now we need to wait to see what happens next. We can look at some big dumps that we've gotten before and see what happens, like this type of price action. And I'm not trying to compare this period of time with what we're seeing right now. I'm not saying, oh, we for sure have another leg down. I'm not trying to compare like a fractal or whatever you want to say. All I'm trying to do is show you guys like what happens after we have a crazy amount of volatility, right? So this kind of fits. I'm not saying it's going to play out just like this, but the huge sell-off, big wick, and then just consolidate in a range. And I think this is probably drawn to scale. So this could be like 4 days, you know. So we could take some trade setups within this. But what I think could happen is we just get something like this for the next few days. Because that's like kind of what I'm thinking we get. Like, I'm not in a rush. A lot of times what happens to people is they lose some money here, and so they try and lever up big in here, trying to make it all back in like a small bounce, but then it kind of goes down. They close the trade at a loss, and then it goes up. Then they FOMO long up here, and it comes back down. Then they cut it, and it consolidates, and you just get chopped up. And I know that because when I first started trading, that's what I did. So let's see if there's one other one we can compare this with. Yeah, so it also could just do something like this. I mean, this was a really big sell-off. And once again, I'm not trying to call for anything. I'm just comparing when we had really big sell-offs, what could happen next. All right. So for this one, the sell-off took a little longer. I'll just put it right next to it. The sell-off took a little longer. Ours was a lot quicker. But we could do a grind like this, bounce, and then just consolidate, and then keep going up. Something like that could absolutely happen too. I just think that also would take a couple days. And there's no reason to just jump in right now. Because if this does consolidate, give us some more levels to work with, then we can get a better entry than just jumping in right now. Because it's like, where do you put your stop loss? At the bottom of this? You want to have a 12% stop loss? I don't know. It just doesn't look like a ideal trade to me. So most likely scenario that I'm seeing is we kind of get some chop across the board. And that's not a bad thing. It's a good time to focus on something else. Let the market do its thing. Step back in when things are a bit more clear. So that's my view on Bitcoin. Like, I know people want trade setups and stuff like that. And unfortunately, like, I don't have any trade setups for you guys today. We did last week. I think we made some good money on quite a few of those. But now, I mean, look at this. Everything's down double digits. This is a massive, massive rinse across the board. Why a few days and not longer? It could absolutely be longer. But I guess I'm specifically saying, like, because the last 12 hours had so much volatility, usually that leads to at least a day or two of chop, unless there's another leg down and then we chop for a while. It could range for longer, but I at least need, I would say, a day or a day and a half of more price action before I can really start to formulate some trade theses. That's probably not the right way of saying it. I don't know. With Ethereum, the daily on Ethereum doesn't look too bad. It's just right back into this SR level, which was the pretty clear resistance on the way up. Expect it to hold as support on the way down. The one difference with Ethereum is it didn't take out these lows. It did take out this one, but not those two. It doesn't really matter, but that's just how it played out. Maybe there were less liquidations for Ethereum. Go time for alts? I don't know, because I think alts could kind of do the same thing too. Because after big candles, they typically have periods of consolidation. Did we really just... Oh, no. We almost touched 4,000 and 2,000 in the same day. That would have been pretty crazy. Thesi, Meeseeks, Mr. Meeseeks. Pronounced like Theses, Theseus, Thesi, Feces. Oh, man. But yeah, Ethereum doesn't look too bad. It's right into support. I picked up some spot Ethereum at around 32.50, right in here, and I'm happy to hold that. If we lose this SR level, I would cut it. But like right now, I think is a okay time to buy some spot if you do have a bullish view on the market still. And for right now, I do like it. I expect this to be a higher low or right into resistance. But is it possible that we just put in a lower high? Sure, it's possible. I don't think it's likely. I don't see a scenario where we go back to like sub 1700 right now. I don't find that likely at all. I'm not calling for that, but I think it's good to keep an open mind. If it just rips right up, how do you play that? Still wait patient or have that 49 level for a flip? So I'm in spot still. Like I have my long-term spot bag. And picked up some other spot today. So if it rips up, like, I'm happy sitting on the sidelines. In terms of leverage, like, if it does bounce, I still would want to just wait for a few more days of price action, like, to see what happens. So yeah, even if it goes up from here, if we start V reversing, I'm going to sit out from a leverage perspective, but I do have spot exposure still. And like I said, I did pick up some more spot Ethereum here. Well, a little bit lower than here, but this general area. And I think this level and this level, basically this consolidation, or you could draw this level. It's essentially the most important level on this chart right now. So as long as this holds, I am bullish on Ethereum. Also, I forgot to do this at the beginning, but before I forget again, shout out to the sponsors Zort and Bybit. Zort is a AI trading algorithm, basically trades an account for you, which is kind of cool because your emotions don't get involved, and the AI has been performing really well. It's up 12% in almost a month, and it was sitting in 77% cash for this whole dump. It actually sold Bitcoin at 50.5, so right around here. I posted that on Twitter earlier. The screenshot of my Coinbase account is on there for proof, but yeah, and then shout out to Bybit. That's where I do the majority of my leverage trading. I think they are the best option for Bitcoin and Ethereum. They don't have every single alt, but you can find alternatives for some altcoins. But I think Bybit, especially for those of you that don't want a KYC, I think Bybit is the best place because without KYC, you can still withdraw 2 Bitcoin a day. So just wanted to mention that before I forgot. Let's talk about AVAX because, I mean, you guys know I'm pretty bullish on AVAX, and so we're going to discuss when it's down 23%. This was kind of a joke, but I know people are seeing this bull flag right here. Like, tell me this doesn't look like your textbook bull flag right there before the next leg up. It kind of does. I'm not saying that has to happen, but your average retail trader can for sure see that this is shaping up into a bull flag. I would like to see us get back above this weekly SR. Once again, we're going to wait a few days before we really dive into more leverage setups, but I did pick up some spot AVAX at 34. So around where it is, I'm bullish on AVAX. I'm sticking to that thesis. So this was pretty much, this gave me a 24% discount. Funding still positive. Yeah, it got negative for a bit. I think people are just like rushing into longs right now. And that's why I kind of think we're either going to chop to shake more people out or go down for another leg, take out the low. Everyone who rushed into and piled into longs here and every other coin gets stopped out, and then we start pushing up from there. If I had to guess, that's kind of what I would think happens. I wonder where the 200 moving average is on this, way down there. It's just a thought. Hanging on to the 4 hour. I don't really use a ton of indicators. Sometimes I'll chuck one of those on there though. You can get AVAX through MetaMask if you bridge, and that's no KYC. It's not a centralized exchange. You can just swap for it. Yeah. AVAX to $20. We'll see what happens. I mean, if Bitcoin goes down for another leg, alts are going to get hit, and it would be pretty interesting. Any realized losses today? Yes. I got stopped out of a Bitcoin long. I had limit orders right around here, and my stop loss was there. So I got stopped out of that. A little bit of slippage, kind of a bummer. And then I did also have a AVAX long. We entered the long here, and I closed some at Monday's mid-range. Let me try and find it. No, maybe I think it was last week's Monday's high. Yeah. Right here when we weren't breaking above, I closed some of it, but then after this wick, I added some back on, and then obviously that broke the low. So I lost a little bit of money on that. Taking the partial profit helped mitigate it, but yeah. So I took a couple of realized losses today. Nothing huge. I mean, kind of got lucky. Like I've experienced a ton of dumps like this, and usually I get hurt a bit more than I did today, but it happens. Zort had 89% of yours in cash at the dump. That's awesome. The Zort token is still getting crushed a bit, but man, that AI is so good. This was a link long I TP'd up here, which was pretty clutch. So see, that's just an example of me like partially just getting lucky this dump that I had recently closed a couple longs. Sol, you guys want to talk about Sol? What's up, Reg Hunter? No worries. Hasn't been super important. Basically, I've just been talking about how there's not a lot of trades to take right now, and we kind of just need to take a step back. Okay, so yeah, I think AVAX is going to be fine. My kind of theory is that I don't remember what day the Three Arrows Capital announcement was that they're like invested in AVAX. But this entire consolidation, funding on FTX was just absurd, like one of the highest on FTX. And I think everyone was like, all right, AVAX is all the hype right now. AVAX is super bullish. Three Arrows Capital is invested, like all this stuff. And everyone's just loading up with leverage, trying to catch this when it breaks above 60 and goes into price discovery mode. And I just don't think it's going to be that easy to piggyback on their trade, basically. And I think a lot of people took losses right here. I'm still pretty confident that we see all-time highs. But yeah. But I think, like, I'm still bullish on AVAX. It's just going to take some time. Like, from a fundamental perspective, it just works really, really well. It's easy to use. There's a lot of stuff to really like about it. So Sol dumped, had really great buyback, like crazy V reversal. Like, this was nuts. 40%. And now it's kind of bleeding down again. And like, it's easy to just see this start doing a V reversal and FOMO into it here or something like that. And then you're just getting trapped. And that's why it's just really hard to trade after there's crazy volatility. I think the best way to trade these things, you'd be trading that CC. What's the CC? I think the best way to trade these is like you kind of have to get a little lucky bidding some high time frame support. Like here, Sol had some daily demand, right? And we wicked into it. So like if you had bids, that's great. But then I would say like if you catch a knife, don't try and hold it to a new all-time high. And that's like across the board too. Like if you were bidding one of these SR levels, you get that initial bounce, I would just take my profit and run, because yeah, I just think it's so unpredictable what happens after crazy volatility. So I did, like yesterday I was texting one of my friends and he was saying like, when should we take profit on Sol and when should we buy back? And I was like, I don't think here's a bad place to take profit, like 180 to 190. It went a little above that. And then I was saying I want to get back in around 135, 140. And it went into that really well. Basically, I was just talking about this consolidation. I just didn't expect it to happen that soon. And like, I don't want to buy spot SOL right here. I think if it goes down to like 120, then I for sure would take out all the stops below here. Like if this just bleeds down lower, has another spike down, and then gets back above. But once again, like, we really need to see more price action before we can start to make more detailed plans. Am I as bullish on AVAX as on SOL? Probably not. I mean, SOL is a pretty unique trade, and I had a ton of conviction for that, partially because of Sam and his power and wealth that he was just dumping into SOL, and then the other part was like how like SOL worked. It was good. It was a cheaper alternative for Ethereum. I think AVAX is in a similar spot. They don't have a Sam. I'm sure they have some really smart people behind it, but I just like how well Avalanche works, you know. So I wouldn't say it's quite the same conviction, but I do think AVAX will go to triple digits. Please talk more about Zort. Do you mean the token or what? What are we talking about? Here's the, I'll pull this over. Oops. The screenshot of my Zort account, if you want to hear about that anymore or see. We started with 5K in the account. It's at 5.6, almost 78% cash, 21% in Ethereum. And yeah, it sold Bitcoin at 50.5K. Not really much to say other than that. The token, you know, we talked about kind of what's going on with Zort last week. In terms of like with that guy stealing money and dumping some tokens. And I know Adam, the CEO, is pretty busy right now with dealing with the court case and things like that. So the coin is still taking a hit, and obviously I don't expect it to be green when the entire market is down double digits. But the AI has been working really well, and we've been testing it for almost a month now. And it only trades Bitcoin and Ethereum. So, like, since I started the Zort account, it was August 11th. So from August 11th, Bitcoin is currently up 2%. And from August 11th, Ethereum is up just under 6%. But so in this time frame, with this price action, it has secured 12% of profit, and it's holding USD. So pretty impressive so far. I don't know the details of how the AI works. That's pretty proprietary, but it's working well so far. Let me try and catch up with some of these messages. Yeah, I'd buy FTT on FTX. I've got a 10% discount on fees if anyone needs that. I feel like everyone has an account there by now, but can I start charting NFTs? I don't even know where to find a NFT chart. Can you go over your strategy for taking profits on spot plays? Pretty much just high time frame resistance. Like, I mean, I was taking profit on Bitcoin around here. I ended up getting back in some of it when we broke back above, which obviously was not the best choice, and I'm down a little bit on that, like 8%. But my long-term spot, I just say don't manage it. Like, my long-term spot, I don't touch it for as long as my thesis is still intact. I still think Bitcoin could be a type of currency for the world. I don't know if it's going to be a store of value or like a day-to-day thing or what. I just still believe in crypto being a future. So like my long-term bags, I don't really try and touch. Short-term, I would just say I manage it with high time frame support and resistance. And then you can just trail your stop up too. Like Sol is going parabolic. If you guys saw on Twitter, I didn't want to post this on Twitter because it would just look like the most like LARPy brag or something like that. But I mean, it actually happened. But it was in my brother's account. So I mean, if you guys follow me on Twitter, I posted about how I helped my brother start his like crypto account towards the beginning of the year. I put him all in Sol at $15, and yesterday I took profit in that account for the first time this whole run at 194. Literally the Pico top. It might have been 193, but regardless, I just thought that was the most insane thing ever. I can just retire now from my Sol bag. I don't think I could ever really retire. I mean, I told you guys if I hit 9 figs, I would probably stop working as much. Like, I probably work, like, I don't know, 14, 16 hours a day right now. If I ever hit 9 figures, that would probably take a big step back. But, yeah, I don't really see retirement in my near future. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with the questions. We haven't had 200 people in a stream since before I got COVID, so I appreciate you all tuning in today. It really does mean a lot. ICP and Serum. Let me look at those quick. So, Serum. Why is my chart not loading? I had something drawn on Serum. There we go. Now it's back. We still can't break above this. I guess it's like the $10 resistance. And on the daily, that looks very prominent. But I think Serum, once it gets above that and can like close above it, is a move. I don't think you're going to be mad about buying spot Serum around here either. This is like the one Sam coin that hasn't broken all-time highs, but someone on Twitter was trying to tell me it's a lagger. And I was like, bro, it's up like 350%. Since mid-July. It's not lagging. It's doing just fine. But I do think Serum will be making moves. We'll be making an all-time high. My brother's the one dumping on us. Yeah, I wish it was that much. That would have been, if he had enough soul to dump the market, that would be pretty epic. That is LARP worthy. GG. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like a dick posting stuff like that sometimes. Like I'll send a screenshot in DMs to like some of my friends who I talk to about trading a lot. But it's like, I know the type of pain in the market on days like this when your whole watch list looks like this. No one wants to see a screenshot of where you sold. No one does, you know? Like, I don't think it helps anyone. People want their, like, little bit of clout, their moment in the spotlight, but it's like, celebrate something when everyone else is winning, you know? I don't know. That's just how I look at it. I wouldn't say I'm in front of my computer for 16 hours a day. But I'm pretty much like on call 16 hours a day. I look at my phone a lot doing crypto stuff. But I mean, when I'm golfing and things like that, or out for dinner with my wife or whatever, then I usually chill. But I would say on average, the amount of time I'm on my phone and computer, it's a lot. Let me look at FTT too. So we didn't quite get our entry in the gray. That would have been like a no-brainer long for me. It might end up getting back there, but this is like the nicest level on the entire chart. Also, to that guy who told me that Serum is a lagger, it went up more than FTT this year, or since mid-June. You idiot. Didn't have time to show him though. So this level would be a no-brainer long for me on FTT. If the market does pull back more, I think that's an awesome spot. I think you can buy spot there. I think you can look for some leverage longs there, and that's one I'll move that higher up on the watch list, because that's one we'll be keeping a close watch on together. I think that could be a swing that is like one of your better trades for a while. And it can be with spot or leverage, but if you just enter something like this, targeting like 100, just because good psychological level, like that'd be one hell of a trade to catch. So still looking for something like that. Yeah, we'll see what happens. ICP. I mean, this looks like once it breaks out, it's just going to start flying. If you want to play it safe, actually, this doesn't look horrible. Let's see. Took out the range highs, took out the range lows. I would say if you want to play it safe, it can break above gray. You can buy spot here and hold it for like 1 to 200%. Like buy spot at 100, target 200, 300, something like that. If you want to get in the weeds, in the thick of it, we'll look to place. We can try and take some type of range play on this. I do like the upside. I should probably add this to the add it to the watch list, because I mean, yeah, if this breaks 100, I like its chances of really moving really high. Or if this pushes down a little further, like I think somewhere in here, just like this, general SR is pretty nice, around 45. So if this comes down again, dips in there maybe, and then gets back in the range, we could look for something like that too. Respect. I appreciate it, guys. I don't know. I think it's just because, like, I've been in the exact position where you see one of these massive dumps and you're like, wow, I just lost like 20, 30% of my portfolio or something like that. And the last thing you want to see on Twitter when you are hurting is like how well someone did that day, which like maybe that's a little selfish to like not want to see others. I mean, it's not that I didn't want to see others do well, even if I had a bad trading day. It was just that, 80% of people took a hit. So the really bloody days in the market, I don't think those are the ones where people should be talking about how they nailed it. So this is a good opportunity though. Big picture. Like if there's some altcoin you've really been wanting to buy, go ahead and buy it. Like it's, or at least start scaling in. Like it's down 20%, 25%, maybe down even more from the actual like peak. I would say use the daily, use the weekly, look for some high time frame support. For Bitcoin, I think the most obvious level is like here. So, I mean, it just about went into it. It doesn't have to touch it, but testing it again would be fine. But yeah, coins you've really wanted exposure to, if they've pulled back a lot, I would just say just get a little bit of spot. Start building some exposure. I don't think you're going to regret big picture if you buy like a huge wick, unless this really goes back into like a bear market, which I don't think is going to happen, but we'll see. If Bitcoin loses like 40K, if Ethereum breaks below this level, I mean, it would probably actually have to break below this level too. We don't really need to worry about that yet. I think that's a future problem for us. But yeah, I guess I would just say main points are, if there's a coin you really want to buy spot of and it's sitting at high time frame support, you can get a little if you feel confident about that. And then the other thing I wanted to say was, don't try, if you lost money or even if you didn't, you don't need to rush back into leverage plays. It's okay to take it slow, let the market play out for a few days. That's kind of my plan. When we stream again on Thursday, hopefully we have a little bit more data, a little bit more, like some more candles, some more price action to work with. But for now, it's like, don't make the losses even worse than they already were. So, we do like Apex still. We do like the mutants. I mean, I think this is pretty much all I had in terms of trading content for right now. I did buy my mutant. There's a nice floor multicolored mouth ape for sale. This is like 4 ETH below the floor. The one I got, I think, is a good I could flip it or I could just hold it. So I'm kind of happy with that one. This guy. Because I got it for 7.4, which was kind of a steal. And then the floor for these robots, there's one at 9.5. And after that, there's mine and then 12. So, like, I bought it at 7.4. I think it could sell around 10, but if this one gets bought, I'll probably raise my price to like 11.5, see if we can get like a 4 Ethereum flip on that, and then keep looking for other flips. So I think they look cool. They're kind of fun, but also I think there's a lot of flip opportunities with them. And then we're still bullish on Apex. It has pulled back. If you don't have any Apex yet, consider this a gift. I feel very confident that this coin goes to around 50 mil market cap, and right now it's at 9. So I don't think a 5x from here is too crazy. And between me and the Kickin' It with Cause viewers, the Apex team has some good stuff to announce soon. So do with that information what you'd like. Apex is my favorite low cap coin right now, and I have connections with people who are making things happen for the Apex team. So as long as AVAX doesn't completely die or go away, like obviously this is going to take a hit when AVAX is down 23%. The Apex thesis There's a few reasons to be bullish on it. First of all, it's like a reflect token. So they pay 4% of every single transaction to the holders, 5% goes into liquidity. So that's basically Safe Moon tokenomics, where it just rewards holders. So that's one thing that's bullish about it. They have a DAO, which is pretty cool. The first DAO on AVAX, on the AVAX ecosystem. You connect your wallet, which I'm not going to do right now because we don't need to dox the Apex wallet. But you can like vote on stuff. Yeah, there's that 4%, 5% to liquidity. And supply just keeps getting burnt. And they have a treasury full of assets that they're adding more and more assets to. So that part is also very bullish. There's a good guide on you buy it on Trader Joe. Let me find. Trader Joe is like the Uniswap of AVAX, but there's a nice little guide that explains every step of the process. There you go. 2022 year of the DAO. If that means Apex is going to the moon, then I agree. How soon is soon? I wouldn't be surprised if this 5X's from where it's at right now by like mid-October. And when it does, don't say I didn't try and warn you. Alright, I can't be tweeting about this a ton because it literally is a 9 mil market cap coin. But since there's only 175 people in here, the Kickin' It with Cause viewers deserve the tip. Cause Apex wallet, probably 1 mil. That would mean I own about 13% of the supply, and I don't. But it's a decent amount. It is not double-digit supply of the entire token. That'd be a little crazy. But if it was, you would have a big whale on your side because I'm not selling it anytime soon. Haven't sold any yet, and we sat through a 94% drawdown. And the only reason I had the balls to do that is the conviction behind this project in general. So there's some stuff happening behind the scenes. And as long as AVAX stays bullish and more money gets added to the AVAX ecosystem, this is going to rip. You kind of just need to... It's the kind of thing I'm not even checking the chart every day because I don't... I don't know. The chart, it's just so volatile. I don't want to see how much it moves. Yo, if Kaz dumps on me, I will tell the Kickin' It with Kaz viewers before I sell my Apex. And I won't sell it all at once. The cool thing is, you get that 4% of every transaction dispersed to holders, proportionate to how much you hold. So eventually, when this thing has more volume and that 4% is a decent amount of money, then I might just sell a little bit of the rewards or the fees that I've gotten. But I will absolutely not be selling my entire stack of Apex in a single transaction. Do I think it could go to 100 mil market cap? I think it's possible. So that would be from 9 mil, that'd be like an 11x from here. And I do think it's possible. In the end, it all hinges on AVAX, like more money going to AVAX. If more money is going to the AVAX ecosystem and AVAX is really blowing up like in Q4 and it's as big as we all think it could be and as big as Three Arrows Capital thinks it could be, like if money is moving to AVAX and AVAX starts like making some new all-time highs, Apex could start really doing some crazy things. So, that is the little alpha leak for the stream. I'm sure we'll keep talking about Apex every now and then. Probably not every single stream, but this is the first time that I've been like pretty excited about a quote-unquote gem. Like a really small market cap coin. Any thoughts about Steph Curry and FTX? I think it's good. I think FTX is making moves. They're getting a lot of athletes, celebrities, whatever, to endorse them, and that was part of my thesis for FTT in the very beginning. Just like really great exchange with the CEO that's getting things done and continuing to innovate and do new stuff. And I think the sponsorship with Steph Curry is just another example of that. Yeah, could you imagine? They gave him like 50,000 FTT and he just sold them all. And this was him. That'd be funny. But so what's Apex got to do with AVAX? It's on the AVAX ecosystem. So it's built on AVAX. So like in the same way that all those tiny DeFi coins that you can get through Uniswap are like built on Ethereum. So, all right, guys, I think that's pretty much going to do it for this stream. I would say the main takeaway for this entire stream is just like be patient. If you lost money or if you didn't lose money, just don't try and like make it all back immediately, because it's a good way to just get chopped up, especially if we do range for a couple days. So focus on something else. Maybe look at some NFTs. I think I'm going to start flipping NFTs more, so maybe we can talk about that if I am making a lot of money and end up being good at it. You can view the chart at ChartX. But once again, I'm barely looking at the chart because it's just so volatile and there's low volume, and I'm more betting on the project than like the chart looking crazy bullish. But all right, guys, that's gonna do it for me. Once again, shout out to Zort and Bybit. If you want to make a Bybit account, feel free to do it with the link down below. It helps me out. It tells Bybit that it's worth it to sponsor my streams and that you guys enjoy the content, and that'll help them to continue to sponsor these. So yeah, that's about it. I did not see the Dirty Devils NFT of Maine. You can link it here or shoot me a DM and I'll check it out. But appreciate you all for tuning in, and we will talk soon. Maybe we'll do a bigger Q&A session or something on the Thursday stream. But thanks again, guys. It was cool to get back to the pre-COVID amount of viewers on the stream. So really appreciate all the support. Keep your head up. If you lost some money today, you'll bounce back from here, and we'll talk soon.